Welcome back to another episode of Hands on Diecast. I'm Isi.
And I'm Kevin.
And today we are going to be reviewing the
Autoart Hennessey Venom GT.
Yes, this is an Autoart signature model.
Yep.
The real car basically was a Lotus Exige. A guy called John Hennessey turned it into a land speed record-beating production car. Very scary car.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I can
And
imagine.
scary.
Very scary to drive in
yeah.
real life. So yeah, I picked this up as a model. It was in hibernation for a while. We had one of our viewers requested for us to review this, and voila, here it is.
I still remember the day that EC went to the model car shop. We weren't looking for this model, but then we pulled it up, and then he was drawn to the details. I mean, I think neither of us are really Hennessey fans.
No.
But the detail on this signature is really what blew him away, and that's what sucked him into buying it.
The detail, the size of it,
Yeah.
I think it has a lot of presence,
Yeah.
and not to mention it wasn't too
Too
badly
expensive.
priced.
Yeah, because nobody really wants a Hennessey model in this country.
Maybe
Yeah,
you're
in
right.
this country,
In
yeah,
this
yeah,
country,
yeah.
In this market, in our local
Yeah.
market, not so popular. So yeah, let's get straight to the
Yep,
details.
Let's do it. Okay, let's start with the front of the model. I really like the honeycomb mesh, if that's what it's called. The mesh details are really nice. The front aero bits, the carbon fiber, Autoart always does that well, so I think this is nice as well. The front emblem is well done. Even I'm not sure what these are on the real car, but
Rivets,
it's like,
right?
yeah, the rivets or bolts or whatnot, they're very well painted and they look good. Wiper detail is fine. Headlamps, not a big fan of. I mean, they're okay, but not fantastic. That's about it from me. How about you?
Yeah, pretty much in agreement. I think this model, the meshing work which they did is pretty good, right? Not just across the entire front grille, but on the this. I mean, it's all the aero work that had to go
Yeah.
into this car. Right? This car was meant for going fast in a straight line. The carbon fiber work on the front splitter, actually, I have seen Autoart do better, right?
Really? Okay.
I think so, because I mean, okay, here's the thing. This is an Autoart signature, but in reality, this is on the lower spectrum of Autoart signatures.
Yeah, it was priced lower.
It is priced lower, right? So, but still, I'm not a huge fan of the carbon fiber work on the front splitter, at least.
Okay.
Headlamps, likewise, it's okay. It passes, I would
Yeah,
say.
I mean, the cluster to me is okay. It's a lens that kind of disappoints. Yeah.
Yeah, badging on the little Hennessey badges is all right. I'm no complaints about that. I guess same to what you said. The riveting work. I mean, the rivets
Yeah,
are actually really nicely done.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine the person who in the factory put these silver dots on. It's precision right there.
Yeah, a tiny little brush and just that's it.
All right, let's move on.
Yep. So to the side of the Hennessey Venom. So this model is long.
Yeah, that wheelbase, man. Look at this.
We had trouble fitting this model into
Yeah.
our tiny little
Yeah.
iPhone camera scope, right? But to the side of the model itself, I think personally this is my favorite view. Together with the front three-quarter view and the side view, I think these are my favorite views of this model.
Yeah, have to agree.
Number one, I mean the main thing which really stands out for me on this model actually are the rims and the tires. So the rims, this is how Autoart should do matte finished rims.
Yeah, these are good.
Right? It's not just a flat black, they don't look plasticky.
It's almost like a semi matte gloss. You know what I mean? It's not
Yep.
totally matte, but yeah.
Correct. There's a lot of detail in the little wheel nuts as well. And somehow I just love how the rear tire, you can see how fat the rear tire is.
Yeah.
It says Cup 2 all over it, although it doesn't actually say Cup
Yeah,
2,
I
but it
know.
looks Cup
Yeah,
2-ish, you know
exactly.
what I mean? But yeah, other than that, the usual bits and details, nice detailing around the side indicator lamp. Although I wonder who would actually signal in this car.
Exactly. I mean, like, who cares?
Meshing is great as well, right? Air intake and a keyhole, right? There's the detail of hands on diecast. We look at keyholes of models.
Yes, that's sad.
What do you think?
I mean, for me, the proportions on the side, this really is cool. I mean, look at where the door starts here. Look at this gap. I mean, wow. I mean, you can see how much work has gone onto the original Lotus Exige and how much it's changed. And I like the fact that the mesh in all these parts, you can actually see through them to the other side, which is cool.
Yep.
And then even all the bolts on here and here, all the
nuts, yep.
silver chrome paintwork is really detailed and nicely done.
Yep, yep.
The almost like satin finish on the wheels, like you mentioned, really good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I think to conclude, Autoart, in terms of the overall shape and the stance of this vehicle,
bang
right?
on.
You know, just how narrow the entire, like what you
Exactly.
said, where the
Yeah.
front door starts, it's so tightly proportioned just to house this massive engine.
Yeah.
So I think they did this really well.
Me too. All right.
Let's move on.
Yep. So I think for me, the back actually does it for me compared to the front. I mean, there's way more things to look at here. The mesh detail, the Hennessey emblem that they put on the mesh, really well detailed. Even the lights for the license plate, they bothered to put in that detail, which is cool.
Oh, yeah.
I think the most impressive for me would actually be the tail lights though. I mean, you can almost see like the LEDs, the little LEDs that form the brake light, the red portion of the lens. Is really well done. And then of course the aero and diffuser, carbon fiber work is still good. Yeah, that's about it from me.
The funny thing is that the more we look at this model, I think the more we're starting to appreciate that this is actually a pretty good one.
Yeah,
right?
it really is. To me, it's just that I'm not a big fan of Hennessey. But I mean, the detail in the car is great.
On the model, yeah. Likewise, I know nothing about Hennessey, in fact. Yeah, like you said, right, the tail lamps, meshing work, I think even the carbon fiber work, personally for me, the carbon fiber work on the rear diffuser, it's better than the rest of the car, right?
Yeah, it looks the same to me.
I don't know why our eyes are different, right?
Yeah.
I think not to mention as well, as you go across the entire rear clamshell of the model, right? There's more, pretty good meshing work right at the top, and that's where you can see, a little sneak peek of that massive engine that's hiding underneath. But yeah, the rear three-quarter view of this model, in fact, I think looks really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, these fenders, I mean, how much they flare out compared to the original Lotus Exige, just shows how much Hennessey's work went into it.
Yep, and you can also see just how wide those rear tires are. Two probably minor gripes. If you look all the way through the exhaust pipes, you can't see all the way through. It's basically a blank right at the end of it.
Really?
But I think that's relatively minor. And the operation of the spoiler is a bit, the rear spoiler, for me, it's a bit fiddly.
Okay, we'll have another shot of that.
Yeah, we'll do another shot of how difficult it is to try and get the spoiler up, in the proper angle on my model. But yeah, I think overall I like it.
Okay, cool. I mean, on that note, one other small thing to add is the exhaust tips that you're talking about.
Yeah.
When they sprayed it this darker color, you can actually see the spray went inside, and the rest of the tubing is actually a lighter color, which is kind of disappointing. But yeah, small matter.
Minor gripe,
Yeah,
but
very
overall
minor.
I like it.
Okay, cool.
So, engine bay of the Hennessey. I think this review or this model is impressing us more and more as we go along.
Yeah, I mean, this is really impressive.
I'm going to start off, I'm going to come straight off the blocks and say, I think this is one of my favorite engine compartments of any model that I've seen.
Wow, that's a big statement to make.
Yeah, one of my favorite, but not the favorite.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, there's so much going on in here, right?
Yeah.
Look at those massive turbochargers right at the back.
Yeah.
Look at these reinforcing struts, that go across the entire rear subframe. Like you mentioned earlier off the camera, look at how huge those struts are.
Yeah.
And there's just so much depth to this, right? There's, different colored piping for some of the, for the piping of the exhaust manifold. All of the accessories around the side, it's a lot to go through.
So much detail. I mean, you could spend some time staring at this and just looking at all the different parts.
Yep, which is what we have been doing, trying to figure out what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
You can also see other details, like how the exhaust pipes, which, all go all the way out, that's sandblasted. It looks like it's a sandblasted material, which is nice as well. You can see details of the rear suspension arms too, right? Which is a nice touch. Yeah, it's.
I mean, there's so much depth. There are so many other model car manufacturers. They'll do the top half of it, then the bottom half they get lazy and they just we just put a chunk of plastic there and you can't see it anyways. But this one, like shine the flashlight down all the way like into the depth of the engine, and you'll actually see the headers. And I love talking about headers because, especially in this car, the headers are actually in a different color.
Right?
I mean, it looks like a car that's been running and it's a bit hot and it's got like a bit of a copper tint to it. So that's really beautiful. And the headers are actually shaped as per the real car. I mean, the twists and turns of the piping is there. Even like the chassis plate code thingy, the plaque, whatever it's called, is here. And if you look really closely, which I did just now, She has the Hennessey logo and the number and everything, chassis number, which is really nice detailing.
Yep. Probably final thing to add as well, the mechanism of this hood, this
Yeah.
rear clamshell, right?
Yeah.
The hinge Autoart nailed this, right? This is full solid steel, but it's solid as
Yeah.
a rock.
Yeah.
And it looks so cool
Yeah,
with
and
the
it's-
clamshell open.
I know, and it's staying up. It's
staying-
not falling down.
Yeah, it has no dysfunction whatsoever.
Unlike you. Okay.
Funny. And of course, you can see just how massive those, I don't know what section tires those are on the rear car, but
Yeah, those are huge.
so yeah, in conclusion, very nice.
It's beautiful. Yep.
Let's move on.
Yep. So for all the nice things we've been saying about the Venom GT, unfortunately the interior is, to me at least, a gigantic disappointment compared to what we've seen on the exterior. It's almost like Autoart decided, well, let's just use one type of plastic and do the whole interior with the same plastic. So I mean the texture on the steering wheel, on the door cards, dash, everything is kind of the same. I mean, I do get they're trying to do some of the diamond quilted textures. I'm not sure if it's leather or whatnot on all the parts, but that just looks like plastic here. One thing that I really like though is the flocking. This is almost like a higher quality flocking than the usual one we're used to seeing. It's less furry. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Everything else though is, I mean, even the seats, it's just the same plastic material everywhere. Yeah, what do you think?
Actually, pretty much along the same lines because, like we were saying, although this is an Autoart signature, I think this is a lower
end.
grade. Yeah, it's a lower grade. So yeah, I mean, it's very plasticky. You know, this was supposed to be leather, not just across the seats, this quilted pattern, but you see it across the front, the roll cage as well, right at the top. It doesn't look too good.
They didn't pull off the...
Yeah, they didn't pull it off that well.
No.
As a signature, I would have expected better quality seats instead of these
plastic.
seats, right? But I think there are some saving graces. I think like what you said, the flocking is nice. There is some carbon fiber details on the transmission tunnel, you know, right where the handbrake is, on the instrument cluster as well. And I think the nice chrome or steel bits for the gear knob and the handbrake. I think that's a nice touch.
Yeah.
A bit of carbon fiber work as well on the door cards. Well, actually, besides the carbon fiber work, the door card itself is actually pretty bland overall.
It's just,
So this is probably where they did cut costs, but at least they do have fabric seatbelts. I think that's a good thing.
Not too bad.
If they didn't have that on a signature, that would be sacrilege.
That would be very bad.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Cool.
Oh no, what is one more thing, Kevin? We
Yes,
forgot.
there is. Quite critical, actually.
So this model is a bit unique because it comes with a removable roof hatch.
Yep.
Which we will have a separate shot to
Yes,
show
we
you
will.
how it works. The hatch itself does have some detail on it. There's a little bit of meshing there.
Yeah.
And it's a nice steel solid, you know, it's nice.
Yeah,
There's weight
it's not
to it.
composite, yeah.
Yeah, which is good. So yeah, other than that, pretty much that's it.
Cool.
So conclusion time for
Yeah.
the Autoart.
Exciting. Can't wait to hear your score.
Autoart Hennessey Venom GT. Now, okay, I'm going to be honest, it's been a long time since I pulled this out of hibernation, and this is probably the first time, Kev, you and I really dug into the details.
Yeah.
Right?
Even when you bought it, we didn't look at it this close.
No, thank the channel for that actually. So yeah, I think overall it surprised me again because although I'm not a particularly huge fan of the actual car, the actual Hennessey Venom, as a model it has a lot going for it, right? Like I think the stance is captured very well. I think the rims were done very well. The engine bay, the hinge mechanisms, all of these I think would really stand out. Interior was blah, like what we agreed on, but then at the same time, from a price perspective, we know that this is one of the cheapest signatures out there. So whilst there are some signature elements to it, Autoart did cut the cost in some areas, right?
Yep.
So all things considered, I think, because not to mention, it looks great in your cabinet.
Yeah, this thing has presence.
A lot of presence.
Because of the wheelbase.
So, score.
Yeah.
Drum roll.
Yeah, let's hear it, man.
I think this is worthy of an 8.5.
Whoa! Is that the highest score you've ever given a model on our
so.
channel? Whoa! Wow, I'm surprised.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, so I mean, for all the shortcomings and everything, everything that we said throughout the video, I will be giving this an 8.
Oh.
Yeah, surprise, right?
A surprise.
Yeah, I think for me, the interior really dropped it. If it wasn't for the interior, I'd give it a 9. Same score as I gave the G500 that we reviewed earlier, even though that was a Millennium. I mean, I gave that a 9 just because I think, like for this car, the engine detail is really great.
Yep.
But you can't expect that kind of engine detail on the G500 just because the real car doesn't have that kind of engine detail when you open the hood. So all things considered, I think an 8 is a fair score because of the interior.
Yep. So yeah, I guess to wrap it up, this is a very it's not popular.
Yeah,
in
underappreciated car, yeah.
Very underappreciated, a very understated signature model.
Yeah.
All in all.
Yeah.
So I guess that pretty much wraps up the review. So to our viewers who requested this this particular clip, hope you guys enjoyed it and everybody else as well. And until next time.
Yep, bye-bye.
This has been Hands on Diecast. Bye.